Welcome back, everybody, to another Madden 26 rebuild. This time, we are doing the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are a team. They made the playoffs last year. Everyone thought, wow, this team is going to, be a next force in the NFC. And this year, not so much. You still have Jayden Daniels. He's been injured a bit this season. Zach Ertz in real life torn ACL off of what I felt was a pretty dirty hit, and you do have to wonder if that might be it for him, for his career moving forward. They did trade for Deebo Samuel. You got Terry McLaurin, who has been in and out of the lineup, injured. Production hasn't been very good. You have an offensive line that, at least here at left tackle, they gave up a lot to get Laramie Tunsil, getting a little bit older. You have a defense that is a little bit older. I still have no idea how Bobby Wagner keeps being rated so highly in Madden. You go and actually watch him play, he's not that good. But for whatever reason, in Madden, he continues to just be rated very highly, even though I would say he hasn't been that good in a little bit, So that's just one of the things where it's just like, all right, that's what we're doing. But, that's what we're doing. So this team, I do have it the actual week. We are in the week 15. This team is 3-10. We're going to close out the season, and then we're going to get into the actual rebuild here after we've done all this set dressing. So I'm not really sure what we need to do here with the Commanders, honestly. I think maybe we need to get younger at receiver a little bit, kind of solidify that. I think, really, if I'm being honest, I think we got to get this corner room a little bit better. Got to get some help on the edge as well. I think defensive line as well. You got Von Miller, who's old, Preston Smith. I mean, we got to get better there. Safety, we probably have to get a little bit better here at safety as well. Again, corner, we're gonna have to get better. So really, we have to get this defense going and a few pieces on offense. And then I think this team should be back to competing with Jayden Daniels. Want to do it before we have to sign him to an extension. Want to take full advantage of that rookie contract before you have to really start paying these quarterbacks big money. All right, so finish the season at 3-14, which will give us a top 3 pick in the draft. You see 2 quarterbacks going ahead of us, or ahead of the Commanders. We don't need a quarterback. And then we have, an opportunity to probably draft some of the better defensive players here in this draft class. Could that be Ruben Bain Jr.? Could that be Keldrick Falk? Could that be TJ Parker? I don't know. We have the pick of the litter when it comes to these edge players and just these great players in general. Do we want to go with Jeremiah Love? Do we want to forego going after a really good, edge player and maybe getting the best player overall in the draft in Jeremiah Love? Do we want to get maybe the second best overall player in the draft? And do we want to go with Caleb Downs? Do we maybe want to trade someone here? And, someone already on the roster, maybe pick up an extra pick here. Who knows? Do we want to go with Jermond McCoy, right? Maybe the best corner in this draft. These corners, not a lot of people like this corner class. Do we want to move back a little bit? Take Kenyon Sadiq. There's a lot of things that we can do here with this draft class and with this Commanders team, which is the thing that really excites me. So let's get into it here. We'll go take a quick look at these stats. Do you guys actually care about these stats? I don't know. Eagles won the Super Bowl. Jayden Daniels, not a great season, often injured, missed a lot of time. So only played 10 games this season, which is very disappointing. Just nothing felt like it went right this year for this Commanders team. Deebo Samuel was the leading receiver. Terry McLaurin, that was very, the holdout, the contract stuff, and then he doesn't really even play that good, really, is very disappointing. This is a team that, did not get the help that they thought they were going to get for the production they thought they were going to get from some of these guys, and not a lot of turnovers either on the season. So I don't know if these are sim ones, but overall, only 4 interceptions on the year for a defense. That's just not going to cut it. if I'm being entirely honest. That is not going to cut it. We're going to take a quick look at these retirements, see who retired on this commander squad, and that'll give us a better idea of what we exactly need to do. And we have a bunch of retirements here. We got Bobby Wagner. You got Von Miller retiring, and yeah, just Zach Ertz retires. So a lot of guys retired, which is fine. Some holes we're gonna have to fill in, some holes that we thought we were gonna have to fill in anyways. So let's get into the free agency, re-signings, and then to the draft. So we come here to re-signings, and if I'm being honest, only player we re-signed was Chris Paul. Everyone else, if I'm being honest, I'm just prepared to let walk. Just Traylon Burke, already 26. Noah Iguodala, 26. I mean, doesn't already want to be here anyways. These guys don't want to be here. We're not going to force them to be here. We're going to let all of these guys just walk. I mean, they are older players, and we're just not going to keep these guys around. Andrew Wiley, is still good, but we have Josh Connerly right there, right tackle. He'll probably be our starting right tackle next season, so I don't think we have to bring him back. Eddie Goldman, 32. The rest of these guys are just not very good. We'll find a new kicker and punter in free agency, but we're not going to bring any of those guys back. It's just not going to happen for us. So let's get into free agency. So I said I wanted to fix that secondary up a little bit, and we have an opportunity to do that here with Jaquan Brisker. Again, free agency. I think this is where you can kind of fix your defense, if I'm being honest. This is where you go and do that. And there's some players there that we can go out here and get. And we could fix this defense, get it back where we want it to be, which is good, I would say. That's kind of where we want this defense. We want it to be good again. We want to have a good defense. Geno Stone would be interesting, but we do have Quan Martin there. He's only 26 years old, so we don't necessarily have to do that, but we probably want some corners for sure. And if there's anyone there that we like, we're going to take a look at them. But honestly, nothing that's all that impressive is out there in free agency. We'll see. Is there anyone good with some good play rec and things like that? Again, these are things that matter more for the sim than I would say matter actually in, if I was playing, maybe some of these guys we would go out here and get, but Jaquan McMillan is the guy that we can bring in. Again, these are guys, are they going to be like franchise changing players? Probably not, but they're good enough just to bring in for like 1 to 2 years, and that's kind of what we're looking for. And we have Joshua Williams here, 76, 73 play rec. That's not what I want to do. Need a new starting linebacker because ours retired. And, it's going to be tough to find one, if I'm being honest, in free agency. Again, if you have a good one, you're probably not going to let him walk out the door. And a lot of these players are a little bit older and not as good. Cody Barton would be interesting, but I just don't think that's going to happen for us. And yeah, not going to happen. Cole Holcomb, would that be interesting? Not really, honestly. So not going to do that. Edge, we need help at edge, but do you want to keep going older at edge, I guess, is really something we have to consider. Or do we want to finally just kind of draft our edge players and kind of just, finally develop them? Kingsley Enagbare, that could be interesting, actually. I actually do like Kingsley Enagbare in like real life. I actually think he is very good. It's kind of like a rotational edge. We'll bring him in. I don't know if he'll turn into anything great. Now, defensive tackle. We're a little bit older there and not good. And I don't really see anything here that is jumping out to me at defensive tackle that I would just rush out and get. There's just, nothing there, honestly. So that's not going to happen. Tackle, we're fine at. Right guard, we're fine at. Center, we're fine at. Left guard, yeah, we're fine there too. So we don't really have to do anything there. Left tackle, we're mostly fine there. And tight end, we do need help at tight end. And I don't think I'm going to draft the tight end. I just don't think we're in a position to do that. I think there's other needs, particularly on the defense. So I think Isaiah Likely will be a likely target for us. Now, wide receiver. We do need more wide receivers. Deebo Samuel, gonna walk, is 30. And there's no one really out here that's like young that I want. And Rondell Moore is here. He is 26. But you see everyone else is just kind of, a guy, and they're a little bit too old for me. Dyami Brown. I believe he was a commander. Unless I'm getting him mixed up with someone else. I'm pretty sure he was a commander. Dyami Brown, 76, 75 overall, only 26 years old. And we're going to bring him in. We're going to try to bring him in. And so there we go. That's all of our free agency. Not all of it, but that's what we have targeted. Jaquan Brisker, he did like our offer, but right now the Eagles are in front of us. So let's see if we can try to jump the Eagles. Really close. We'll add an extra year to that deal. And we'll go to 11. This is probably a lot of money for a safety. And no, actually, he doesn't like the extra year. Let's go 11. Does that do anything for us? No, we actually go down a little bit. Are they just randomly doing this to mess with me? Is this like a fog of war thing? Let's go straight to 12 million. $12.5 million. Let's see. Does he like that? We'll see. We're going to evaluate the offer. He doesn't sign. That's fine. Well, let's see here. And he does not sign with us. But we do get everyone else that we wanted. As I walk you through free agency here. But Brisker, he ends up going to the Eagles, which is fine. Deebo Samuel ends up going to the Rams. And we put all of our hopes in terms of safety into to that. So we'll steal the Cowboys kicker. How about that? We'll try to steal their kicker. And Quentin Lake, we could try to sign. This would be a lot cheaper than Jaquan Brisker, but let's see if we can get something done here. And we do get them. We get Quentin Lake and Brandon Aubrey. So decent little free agency haul. I don't know if it's going to... It's not going to set the world on fire. I don't know what like talk radio would be like if these happened IRL. But we are going to go find a punter real quick. And we're going to offer this guy like a 3-year deal, because 4-year deal, because I don't like dealing with like punters and kickers. Honestly, it's so weird. It feels like such a waste of time. So we get Jake Bailey. So that's going to be our free agency. We're going to call it for free agency, and we're going to go get into the draft now. All right, so we are going to end up trading Terry McLaurin to the Houston Texans for a first-round pick in this upcoming draft. The Texans, I feel like they probably could use some free agent or some wide receiver help. We're going to go get them some wide receiver help. They also signed Christian Wilkins, so trading away Terry McLaurin is older, didn't produce this year, and I think getting an additional first-round pick helps us out a lot, if I'm being honest. I think that's another pick that we can use to do anything, really. I mean, I'm not sure what exactly we'll do with that additional pick. I didn't ask for anything else because, look, you're trading for a 30-year-old wide receiver. Now, I know receivers have shown that they can keep playing pretty good, honestly, as they get older. So We don't really mind that. The Jets, they are now potentially going to take Reuben Bain Jr. I'm not sure why they would do that. They don't have a quarterback, but the Browns could end up with Dante Moore. You see this board moving around a little bit. Right now, we're projected to take TJ Parker. And let's go see. And we're projected to take another receiver, which we could end up doing, which would be Jordan Tyson. Some people think he is the best receiver in the draft. Again, I don't know because I haven't seen a lot of Jordan Tyson. I'm not like a draft expert guy. I'm the wrong person to talk to about that stuff. I just know from what I've seen of all the receivers I've watched, I really like Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon is a guy. Let's see if is he even projected to go in this first round. I don't if we saw him or not, but I really like Mekhi Lemon. I think he's a guy. I know he's short. He doesn't play like he's short. He's a guy who he plays bigger than what he is. So I'm a big Mekhi Lemon guy, and so that might be who we target with our second pick, honestly. But as of right now, who really knows as we simulate through here, as we get to our focus player, our private workouts here. That's what I wanted to get to. And you see, I've already done some homework on the draft here, some guys that we're looking at here. And really, it comes down to these edge players. And, we are going to do our homework on these guys. And David Bailey, I believe we took in one of our rebuilds, and he actually worked out pretty good for us. But Keldrick Falk, I want to know more about. TJ Parker, I want to know more about. And then on this other edge position, I don't know if we're going to have an opportunity to draft Reuben Bain. So we're not going to look at that. This defensive line room, it kind of looks like it is what it is. We'll take a look at, I believe there were some other players I wanted to look at potentially here. So we can go through here. Again, done some homework. And, I still potentially want another tight end. So Eli Stowers, we're going to select as well. And I think that is going to kind of be what we're going to look at here. And, Keldrick Falk, TJ Parker, and Eli Stowers. Those are going to be the guys that we're going to take a real look at. And let's simulate another week here. I'm giving you guys a little bit more in-depth stuff here in this one. And just because we're getting through the intro of these videos so quickly. And prospects, take a look here at our favorites and the players who we have 100% scouted. So TJ Parker is a top 5 true talent. Keldrick Falk is a round 1 to 2 talent, and Eli Stowers is a round 2 to 3 talent. Keldrick Falk, though, has A, power moves, A, block shedding, A, tackle, and he has elite jumping, elite change of direction, solid speed, and strength. And then we take a look here at TJ Parker, and he has C, block shedding, B, power moves, A, or B, finesse moves, A, power moves, A, tackle. The block shedding thing, he has great physicals, though, better than Keldrick Falk, but I like the block shedding rating. I know that might sound weird, but the block shedding rating is so important to these players and whether or not they can produce. So we'll have to go. We'll get into the draft and we'll see what we can do here. And actually getting a further look at both of these players as we actually go into the positions, everything is basically the same with them except the finesse moves. TJ Parker has better finesse moves, but the A, block shedding, and the A, play rack, I think kind of, makes them both the same. Hit power is a B here. B, pursuit, everything, injury, but I'm not playing with injuries because I don't feel like doing injury management in a rebuild. So Keldrick Falk, TJ Parker, both, could look like the player for us with that first pick that we have. So let's see what happens here in the draft. Do the Jets actually pass on a quarterback and take Reuben? No, they do not. They take Fernando Mendoza, number 1. So they don't pass on a quarterback, advance to the next pick. Raiders, they take Dante Moore. And now the draft starts at 3, if we're being honest here. So we can do whatever we want here. We can still come up and take Ruben Bain Jr. if we wanted to, right? We could take Jeremiah Love if we wanted to. There's a lot of things. We could take a receiver off the board. We could take Kenyon Sadiq. We're in position to take Kenyon Sadiq. We could take the best tackle off the board. But we're going to take a look around here. And Ruben Bain Jr. only has C block shedding. He has B play rec, but really that play rec rating is so important. So really it is down to TJ Parker and Keldrick Folk. The block shedding is going to do it for me here. The finesse moves, you can always work on that, but he has good power moves, good awareness. Everything already looks pretty good here, and we're going to go with Keldrick Folk. The A block shedding, the A power moves, the A tackle. He has solid strength, so that's who we're going to go with. Keldrick Folk, going to be the first edge player off the board. They say it's at 44 in true value, but I think he is a very good player. Also does have hidden dev as well, so I think this was a pretty good pick. We're going to go with Keldrick Folk here, and that's going to be the first player off the board. We decided to go with him. I do think he's a guy in real life who is starting to move up the draft board a little bit here. Let's see what the Browns do. And the Browns take TJ Parker. They just, stick and pick right there. I think in real life they'd be disappointed that all the quarterbacks are off the board. If you're the Titans, you're probably ecstatic that at 5 you could still grab Ruben Bain Jr. If you're the Giants, you get Peter Woods. Saints, they are going to take Jeremiah Love. They maybe get the best player in the draft. They're at 7, so they're probably happy with that. The Cardinals, they go with Caleb Downs. I'm not sure if they're in a position to go with a guy like that, but that's what they do. The Rams, they take Lenoris Sellers. I don't know if Stafford retired or not, but they take him. Caden McDonald goes right there. We're going to advance to our next user pick here, and none of the receivers have gone off the board here, so which means we can go with a receiver here, and I haven't gotten a chance to go with this guy yet, but we are going to take Jordan Tyson here. Looks, good, honestly. Good route running. So Jordan Tyson, potentially the best receiver in this draft class. Number 5 in true value, and we get him at 17, so he is the Terry McLaurin replacement, and we go out here and get him. And yeah, so let's go to our next user pick here, which will be in the 2nd round. Or actually, no, we don't pick again until the 3rd round. What did the Commanders give up to? Well, I'm glad I made that trade for that second first-round pick. What the hell did the Commanders... How do the Commanders not have their second-round pick? I'm not sure what that is. But we come back here and looking in this draft class. And this, I think, is pretty simple, honestly. I still want to kind of improve that room, that safety room. And potentially, again, we still have some guys here. Jennings Dunkers here. Chris Bell, who just tore his ACL. Let's go take a quick look at our roster. Super quickly right here, as we're going really in-depth with this draft. But our starting free safety is Quan Martin, 26 years old. So it's not imperative that we go out here and get another safety. We don't have to do that. So that's not something we have to do. Even though we could, we don't have to. And Garrett Nussmeier's still in here. So what do we want to do here? We have a lot of options and all the time in the world. I would like to get another corner in here, but none of them really look all that great, if I'm being entirely honest. And that's just kind of how it is with this draft class. It's just a lot of mid. And Dalen Everett doesn't look like all that great, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I mean, just great athlete. We have to make this pick count because we are not going to have another pick until the 5th round. So I think at this point, if I'm being honest, we have Blake Miller here out of Clemson. And I think Jennings Dunker is going to be the guy we're going to go with. Could potentially be a left tackle for us. I think that there's a chance of that just because I think Laramie Tunsil is a little bit older and we're going to reach here, but good strength, 89 strength. So that could be something we could end up building on with him in the future. But just going to take a right tackle right there just because, you know, we're not going to pick again till the 5th round. And so I think the Commanders made a lot of trades. I think they traded some of their picks away going for this window. And it probably didn't pay off. So more receivers I think we're going to look at here as well. And, you know, Jermai Bernard has been pretty decent for Alabama. Doesn't look all that great in here, though. This is the one negative about doing these mid-season rebuilds is that you don't get enough time to actually scout everyone. But, you know, we'll try to figure something out here with this. I'm trying to go with players I maybe haven't drafted before. These guys all have terrible catching. Trent Walker, he has A, catching traffic, A, catching, D, route running. Not that quick, so that's not going to happen. Any tight ends that look good here? Not really. This is a really tough spot to be in here when you're this late in the draft because it's kind of just, it feels like you're drafting blind, honestly. It kind of just feels like that. So that's just what it feels like we're doing right now. Any free safeties here? Again, some of these guys we've already taken in these drafts, so I kind of like know if they're good or not. So I kind of don't want to do that. So again, trying to do something a little bit different here with this draft. And some of these linebackers look all right. This guy has A, play rec, C, block shedding, C to F, zone coverage. Doesn't look all that good, even from a physical standpoint. But we're going to take him anyways. Day 3 pick, Andrew Simpson. And yeah, he's probably not very good. That was a terrible pick. We're going to let the CPU do the rest of the drafting here. We only have a couple more picks left. But that was not a great draft. And yeah. There's no way to put it is that was not a great draft once we got past our first 2 picks, if I'm being entirely honest. Kendrick Folk, 74 overall. Jordan Tyson, 79 overall. So Jennings Dunker, 68 overall. So that's something that can grow. And actually, Andrew Simpson is not too bad at 67 overall. For a 5th round pick, no clue if he'll develop into a starter for us. But then they took Luke Altmaier, backup quarterback, so not sure about that. But Tyson, I am excited about, and Keldrick Folk. I think that's interesting. Let's take a look here. The entire NFL, we took a 74 overall. TJ Parker was a higher overall, but did I make the wrong pick here? Did I make the wrong pick? Let's go take a look through all of this stuff here, and the play rec is a 77, so he has a 73 play rec, he has a 77 play rec, so maybe I should have taken TJ Parker. Did I mess this up? I know in real life TJ Parker, but the block shedding is an 82. Power moves, pursuit, everything else is pretty close, so I'm not too upset about that pick at all. And so let's go get this team finished off, or it is finished off, so let's get into year 1 of the rebuild. So this is going to be the team for basically the first year of the rebuild, and again, Jayden Daniels, Jordan Tyson. We actually signed Dontavian Wicks. He was a free agent during the preseason, along with Coker. Jalen Coker was here as well, so decided to sign him as well. Figured why not? Pick him up as well. Another free agent was Grover Stewart. He got cut. Decided to bring him in as well. And hey, this looks a little bit better, I would say. We do have Dorrance Armstrong. He must have been injured. He is not going to start for us. That will be Kingsley Enagbare. He's still somewhat young, so I think maybe we could potentially develop him. But depending on where we are in the midseason mark, Laramie Tunsil could end up getting traded, if I'm being entirely honest. I think that's something that we could do. Rondell Moore here as well, Diami Brown. So, yeah, we'll have to see where we are at the midseason mark with this team. I think that'll really decide on if I find a few more pieces we can trade off and potentially pick up some more draft capital for the upcoming draft. So, I'll see at the midseason mark, see how we're doing, and if we're not doing too good, might be a trade or two that needs to happen. All right, midseason mark, and we are 2-4 on the season. Not looking great. Did just come off beating the Browns for our second win this season, but sitting here at 2-4, that's not very good. I do wonder how much of that is the roster, how much of that is just the playbook. 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions through 6 games is really not good. I'm not sure why Luke Altmaier was in any games, but that is not very good, honestly. So I might have to just change the playbook. I tried keeping it the Commanders playbook. I always do this. I try maybe starting out with just the normal playbook for the team, not trying to cheese it, but it feels like we're just going to have to do that with this because that's Madden. Defensively, how are things going? And Deron Payne, 4.5 sacks. Grover Stewart playing well. Quentin Lake, 3 interceptions. Keldrick Falk, 1.5 sacks. Kingsley Enagbare, a sack. And Drzah Newton with a sack. So we can actually trade some of these older guys here, and I think that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to go into fire sale mode. Marshawn Lattimore is here. That's a guy that we could probably trade away. One of the things we are going to do, just because you have to do it here, it's Madden, but we're going to have to do it because that's how Madden is we're going to have to change this playbook to the tried and true Cincinnati playbook because that is strange for that offense to be that badly. We'll keep the 4-3 defense, honestly, and we will change it, but we will change it to the Packers, who are more of a 4-3 nowadays. So, yeah. So that's what we're gonna do here, and hopefully we can get this going again because right now this is not great. And we will change this. West Coast zone run is what we'll go with as well. Again, I don't know if that'll fix things, but it can't hurt at this point, if I'm being honest. Nothing can really hurt. The team is not playing good. Laramie Tunsil, 32 years old. Nah, not gonna work for me, buddy. Not gonna work for me. I know that feels so ancient yet, some of us are probably inching very close to that age, but time marches on, and we're gonna have to look for some trades. And I think we're gonna try to make one here and with Laramie Tunsil. So I'm gonna see if I can find anything. So we're going to find a trade here with the Rams. They're going to give us a 2nd-round pick, a 5th-round pick, a 7th-round pick, and Nate Landman. We do need an upgrade at that starting linebacker position for Laramie Tunsil. I'm willing to do that, and they're willing to do it. So we get a linebacker, we get a 2nd-round pick, and 2 later-round picks in the 2028 draft. I will absolutely do that. No problem doing that trade whatsoever. We still have some more trades to make here as well as we kind of do a slight fire sell, if you will. A slight fire sell. And Deron Payne, Grover Stewart, we just signed him. He's played well. But if we can trade him, why not trade him? You know what I mean? If we can get him out, he's like, he signed with us, maybe thinking we could slightly compete. Turns out that, we actually can't compete. and it's not going to go well for us. And you know what? That's fine. We're going to get him out of here. And we'll make a trade with the Browns here. We're going to get a corner in Deonte Banks and a 5th and a 7th round pick. We'll make that deal as well. You know, I don't want to say it's complete fire sell. It kind of is, but at the same time, why not? You know what I mean? Why not get some of these guys out of here? And Marshawn Lattimore, I think, is one of the clear guys also that if you're us, you kind of just want to get out of here and, you know, try to, you know, if you can get anything for him, why not do it? You know what I mean? And looking around here, Chikazimo Okonkwo, that's interesting. Let me view the player card. Let me see his contract. Contract, yes, this season and next season on the books. So, and a 7th round pick. Sure. I'll do that trade as well. We get a 7th round pick and Chig Okonkwo. So we kind of do get a little bit better right there. And we are going to make one more trade, and it is going to be Daron Payne as well. Going to get him out of here. And we're going to get some more offers. See what we can find here. And, you know, again, 29 years old. Why not get him out of here? Why not, you know, go find him a new spot and, you know, get him somewhere that maybe is actually competing. And looking around here, Jedrick Wills, left tackle, 27 years old. This would be just a straight up trade. I'm actually not too mad at that. What does his contract look like? I know that's a weird thing to say, but his contract, he has this year and next year on the deal. I want a pick back, though. I also want a pick. Give me a 4th round pick, since I'm sending you and they take it. So we get Jedrick Wills and a 4th round pick for Daron Payne. Hey, you know what? Why not do these deals? You know what I mean? Why not do it? And you know what? I think we have one more trade to do. I think we have one more trade in us. And again, we're just getting guys out of here, clearing up space and looking around here. And it's going to be Dorrance Armstrong, 29 years old. Get him out of here as well. You know, you don't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Kevin Winston Jr. Again, probably not realistic, but you know what? Let's see his contract. What's he looking like? He shouldn't have too long on. He still has 2 more years after this season on his contract. And I just backed all the way out of there. So Dorrance Armstrong. Let's see if that trade is still there for Kevin Winston. We're going to make that trade as well. So there we go. We acquire Kevin Winston Jr. and we got rid of a lot of older players that would have been expensive to keep them anyways. So honestly, I ain't mad at it. We're going to reorder this entire depth chart, and yeah, I ain't mad at it. Honestly, I like the trade that we made, and I'm pretty happy with the trades that we made. I think we, you know, again, defensive line, going to take a step back for sure, but we do get a starting linebacker for the next couple years. I like the idea of that. I'm a fan of that. We get a starting linebacker, pretty good player. I'll happily do that. And now maybe in the draft, we don't have to look for one or pay one in free agency because we already have one. So it's not something that we necessarily have to think about too much or think about too hard. Our young edge rushers can play. Our young defensive tackles can play. And hopefully the offense will pick up in the second half of the year. And we got a lot of draft capital. So moving forward, I'm very happy with what we've done. What a midseason turnaround. We end up making the playoffs at 10-7. I have no idea what happened after those trades. Maybe the offensive playbook changed, but we completely turned it around after those trades. Um, you know, after those trades, we completely turned it around. We beat the Titans, we beat the Jaguars, then we lost to here, but then we lost to the Eagles by 1 point, and then we won out here. So just completely turned it around after the trade deadline, and wow. And Jayden Daniels completely turned it around as well. 4,400 yards. Again, Bengals playbook. It's what you have to do in Madden if you want to have any sort of success on offense at the very least. But 33 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Really good season. Rushing game was whatever. Nothing to write home about. But receiving wise, Jordan Tyson, 1,400 yards. He came alive. Diami Brown played well. Rondell Moore played well. Dontavian Wicks had some catches. Chigakonkwo came in here, played a little bit. I wish these playbooks would recognize teams do like using two tight ends, but Isaiah Likely, a very good season as well. Yeah, what a turnaround for us. Keldrick Falk, 11 sacks on the season, and that is very good for a rookie. Kingsley Enagbare, 6.5. Frankie Luvu, 5. Jazeer. I'm just gonna call him Jay Newton. We're gonna call him Jay Newt. DeMarcus Walker here, and everything else is kind of, Landon Robinson got a sack, and then interceptions. Landman, I don't know how many of those came with the Rams, but Quentin Lake, 4 interceptions. Kevin Winston Jr. an interception. Again, don't know if that came with the Titans, but either way, I'm pretty happy with that here. And we have some upgrades to do right here. So Jordan Tyson with 6 upgrades. And for the upgrades that I do, if I'm hand doing them, we are just going to go with whatever the scheme fit is. Whatever that recommends, that's what we're going to go with. I don't know if that makes things more difficult, but again, receivers progress really weird. It feels like playmaker it basically does things for slot mostly. So it feels like there's too much of a kind of crossover between both of these types. But yeah, all those upgrades in the playmaker and just made him a better slot receiver technically. So, but a good first season for Jordan Tyson. I think that was a good trade for us to make. And then Keldrick Falk. We're going to go with Speed Rusher here. We're going to try to make him a scheme fit, honestly. And these upgrades should help. It's also one of the weaker parts of his game. So, we're making him more well-rounded. We knew that when we drafted him. And hopefully we can make him even better. Have a bunch of coach points to spend as well. So, yeah. Mid-season turnaround. I mean, we were 2-4, and finishing the season only losing 3 additional games. That is really good, honestly. Josh Connerly progressed pretty well for us as well. It pays so much to have linemen who have more than normal dev. That star dev really goes a long way for their progression, it feels like. So I do like seeing that. Josh Connerly Jr. is going to, at the very least, go into the playoffs, a 76 overall. And that's awesome, honestly. So he's progressing pretty well for us. Jayden Daniels has some upgrades as well. A couple more for him. And we're going to go with Field General now because that is kind of the new scheme for us. And I hope he can stay healthy IRL. He's a super talented player. Needs to protect himself more for sure, but I think that injury is more in real life. That was just kind of okay. I think that was just kind of like a freak injury, honestly. I don't think that's because of his build or anything like that. If he protects himself, he should be fine. I think is something that moving forward. But yeah, look at all of these upgrades here. We even have an upgrade here for Jedrick Wills. Well, I think IRL, did he retire or step away from football for a year, I feel like? Or am I getting him mixed up with someone else? I feel like he stepped away from football and basically he said, I'm taking a year off. And so we're going to let the CPU do the rest of the upgrades. Taking on the Cowboys here. And for the playoffs, I just kind of leave that all the same. Since I'm not playing the games, pull pads, get out there and practice. And yeah, so not too bad, honestly. First year rebuild for us. Get some more upgrades here to do. And Isaiah Likely with another upgrade. We'll go with possession for him. And he had a good season. And that's not Isaiah Likely face-wise, but either way, that's fine. Jaylen Lane. We'll go with playmaker. And this time it actually does help with playmaker as opposed to helping with slot. And then Kingsley Enagbare, we'll go with power rusher, and that will get him up to a 75 overall. So again, played pretty well for us. Not enough for us to maybe not consider drafting another edge if they're there, but Cowboys, Commanders, playoffs. Let's see if we can beat the Cowboys in the playoffs. And we do not. We lose 31-23. Our season comes to an end. Disappointing, but honestly, we were probably just happy to be in because it looks like we were the last team in. So just happy to be there. So we'll move on and get ready for year 2. So the only retirement we have to deal with is our long snapper, which is, still not sure why they made that a position in game, if I'm being entirely honest, but hey, they did. I'm sure that makes someone happy. I don't know if it actually matters gameplay wise, but whatever. We have some re-signings to do here. We are going to accept Jayden Daniels' option, of course. And Quan Martin doesn't want to re-sign with us. That's fine, honestly, because we traded for Kevin Winston Jr. So we're happy with that. Tyler Biadasz, I would like to keep around for another couple years, and he's willing to stick around. Linemen don't regress too heavily in Madden. Rondell Moore does want to be back. Dontavian Wicks doesn't. Again, we can re-sign these guys just because we have the money. And that's a guy that I'll re-sign. Frankie Louvu's out of here. Dontavian Wicks, Coker. Percy Butler is out of here. Tyler Owens, Will Harris, and Nick Alleged Gretty. He's not going to play for us, so it's fine. We have a ton of money, and we didn't really have to re-sign anyone either. So that's pretty big for us, if I'm being honest. We can go out here and kind of do whatever the hell we want in free agency. We have $155 million. And we can go out here and get anyone we want. And, oh boy, this would be absolutely spicy to do. Jordan Davis, free agent. That is looking quite tasty right there. Steal another piece from the Eagles, and I am willing to go out there and do that. We're going to offer him some big money right there. If we can steal a piece from the Eagles, I'm 100% all for that. Grover Stewart, free agent. So we ended up kind of, getting a free pick from him for nothing. Honestly, we could re-sign him if we wanted to, but he's like, yeah, I don't want to go back there, which is fine. That's fine if he doesn't want to come play for us. Christian Watson out here. We have Garrett Williams out here. It's a free agent corner. And, we're kind of good at corner. We're like decent. He's not like a clear upgrade over anything that we have. So that's why I'm probably not going to go out there and do that. Edge, nothing too interesting. I'm kind of happy with our edge guys. And again, there's nothing out there that's like, man, I gotta go out there and get that guy. That's just kind of not what I'm seeing. And so we're kind of not going to do that. honestly. Um, we do need some more linebacker help. Frankie Louvu did leave us as he was not, he didn't want to be around anymore. And hey, that's understandable. Um, you know, I'm not going to take that personally or anything like that. But we're going to go out here. And again, from my understanding, the way I feel I've seen enough with Madden 26 is these positions might seem like they don't matter too much, these Sam and Will positions. But I just feel like I've seen enough of these sims where these positions do actually kind of matter a little bit. And they kind of do make a difference. At least in the sim. In the sim, it does feel like they matter. And, you know, now, if I was actually playing, would this matter? No, you probably just like stick a linebacker over there and like call it a day, a spare linebacker, and call it a day. But I do think it helps a little bit. We do have Drew Sanders here, and he is better than Andrew Simpson, and we're a team that's probably competing. Like right now, we're competing, and we don't have time for some older players or younger players to come up to speed. We just don't have time for that. Again, Kevin Winston Jr., he's going to hold it down for us at or at free safety. Strong safety, we're good at that as well. So we don't really have to go out here and do anything. We're set. We can we have our pick of the litter with what we want to do. Like we can go out here and again grab whoever we want because we can do that. Chase Brown is really good. Do we want to go out here and get Chase Brown, pay for a running back? We could, but we are using the Bengals playbook. Zach Charbonnet, he's not interested in coming here. Tony Pollard isn't. Tank Bigsby has been pretty good. But again, nothing too interesting out there. Quarterback, we don't need one. So really, it's just kind of down to what we've targeted. And that is Jordan Davis, DeMarvion Overshone, Mike Sanders, and Kellen Wyatt. And we have money, and we're not always going to have it. So I feel like we should just go out here and maybe just sign a corner. Just to kind of, like, why not? I guess is kind of the reasoning. And Garrett Williams, why not? Why not? We're not always going to have money because we're eventually going to have to pay some of these other guys, like the quarterback. So let's see what free agency holds for us here. We're going to evaluate those offers, and we get everyone. We get Jordan Davis, we get Garrett Williams, we get DeMarvion Overshone, we get Drew Sanders, and we get Kellen Wyatt out of Indiana. So that's a pretty good free agency. Again, would have targeted some wide receivers. It's just there's no one here that I feel like, again, is like way better than what we have. And that's the only reason why I would go out there and maybe target someone, is because we'd be getting like an upgrade. And that's just kind of not really the case. We'll probably look in the draft for some more wide receivers if we want. So that's going to do it for free agency, I think. So in this first round of the draft, I am basically targeting 3 players. One of them is a edge rusher, Damon Wilson. C, block shedding, but B, finesse moves, B, power moves, B, tackle. Has great physicals. I have no clue if we're going to be able to draft him, but I don't recall seeing him in those mock drafts too much. But Nate Frazier is a guy who is expected to fall to us. Looks awesome. We didn't go out and sign any running backs, because really in this draft, there's some good running backs in this draft. Nate Frazier is one of them out of Georgia. And then this guy, Ahmad Hardy, who has actually been on the channel before in my Milwaukee Tech dynasty that I did in College Football 25. I believe he was a guy who transferred to Missouri, was with before that he was with, I'm drawing a blank, I believe Louisiana Monroe. and was really good there. Transferred to Missouri, was great at Missouri. And so if Nate Frazier goes, I would have no problem taking Ahmad Hardy after that. But Ahmad Hardy, Nate Frazier, Damon Wilson. We'll actually go take a look at the mock drafts real quick. Is Damon Wilson expected to go early? I mean, these edge guys, you never know. And we'll look around, and no, he would be there for us if we wanted to take him. Is just that it might be really tough to pass up on a good running back like Nate Frazier, who is a top 5 talent. So if he's there, that's probably who we're going to take. So, first round of the draft, let's get in here. Again, everyone who I want is there. And so, Wilson's there, Frazier's there, Ahmad Hardy's there. It's hard to pass up on a guy with a top 5 true talent in the draft. We passed on Jeremiah Love last draft. It was probably the right move for us at the time. So we go on here. We get the number 2 player in the draft at 20. 93 speed, 96 acceleration, agility, change direction, jumping. All that looks really good. I'll be interested to see how he actually plays in the sim. So we'll see that. And I think we should get that edge player, if I'm being entirely honest. We're going to skip ahead in the draft, though. Next pick. If the edge rusher that we want doesn't go off by the time the Giants get on the board, Dylan Raiola goes to the Steelers. That guy goes there. If he is not off the board by the time we get to the Giants pick, I'm going to trade back into this first round and go grab him. Just because I feel like that is the right move to do. I don't think he'll make it all the way to where we're picking in the second round. I just don't think so, but we'll get to at least the second round. I don't know if the Giants are going to take him. They have so many edge guys, so I don't think they would. Next pick, they don't, and we are not picking until pick 50, so yeah, pick 50 and pick 52, so we're going to move up here, and we're going to go get that guy that we want. We're going to go make a trade with the Cardinals. We're going to come all the way up to the top of the second round to go nab that edge rusher that I want and give us that pick, and we will give you... I'll give them both of these second round picks, honestly. We don't need both of them. We have multiple 4s. Let's see if that's enough. And that is enough, so... Is that an overpay? Maybe. I maybe could have threw in like a 4th round pick or something like that. But we're going to move all the way up. I think the value is here. We're going to go in here and we are going to get that rusher, Damon Wilson, out of Missouri. We're going to nab him. I think this was the right move. And yes, it was the right move. Got him at pick 33. Number 34 in true value. He was probably going to go off the board pretty soon. And he has hidden dev, so I like that pick. I'm happy with it. And I think that was a move that we had to make, if I'm being honest. So, again, sometimes it's better just go up and get the guy that you want. And that's who we wanted. And, yeah. So, I think we get 2 really good players in this draft. Again, it paid to get those additional picks. And there's a kicker here. That's very interesting. I have no clue if that... I've never seen a kicker this high. Projected to go in the first round. Wow. That's very fascinating. So we're still going to take some more players here, of course. And we have these 2 corners here. Let's go take a look here. I'm always looking for corners. It's good to have a lot of corners on your team. And we have 2 here that are around 1 to 2 talents. Neither have good play rec, which is very interesting. Their man coverages. This is interesting because it says this, but they have the talent. So I don't know if I'm getting punked here. We're going to go with Smith Snowden out of Utah. He looks not good, but It says number 41 in true value. He has normal dev. Great physicals, though. 92 speed, 95 acceleration. We'll see what he is as a player. We'll skip ahead in the draft here. Next user pick, which is going to be in round 4. Then we're going to let the CPU handle the rest of the draft. We actually have 2 picks in this round, so I'll just make both picks. But, looking around here, there's still some receivers on the board. And I do like getting receivers personally. I don't know why I'm so fascinated by that kicker being on the board, but I am. Isaiah Horton out of Alabama. He has terrible deep route. Not that great of an athlete. Spectacular catch is an A. Really bad medium route. C, catching traffic. B, catching. I'm going to take him anyways, just to see, because I'm fascinated. 94 in true value. He has normal dev, 89 speed. That's not too bad, honestly, for Madden. 89 speed is... it's passable, honestly. It's passable. It's usable for sure. DJ Lagway here. And we're actually just going to take another receiver or another corner, and 6'4". Speed, he ran better at his college pro day, 4.47. I'm going to take Kelly Jones here, and that's a reach. 88 speed, not great at corner. I'm just 6'4". Why not? But we're going to advance to the end of the draft. Let the CPU handle the rest of it. Draft recap, and Nate Frazier, 83 overall. That was definitely the right pick for us to make. And Damon Wilson, 75 overall. I think that was also the right pick to make. Smith Snowden, 74 overall. I think that was the right pick to make. Again, he's going to have to get better as a zone coverage guy, but probably when I actually play the games, whenever I jump in on defense, I mostly call man defense anyways, and he's a good man defense guy. 75 press, actually not too bad. Play rec, that's going to have to get better for sure, but Isaiah Horton, 71 overall. Again, route running is going to have to get better. What I like about these draft classes, if I'm being honest, is I actually do like that the people making these draft classes actually kind of recognize some players are just better in certain aspects of things, and I feel like Madden too often keeps everyone's ratings, no matter what, really tight together. I like that this is more, again, his short route running's good, everything else kind of not too good. So everything, there's work to do with him. I like that. Cam Jones, or Kelly Jones, not very good, 68 overall, better zone coverage guy. So I almost wonder if I have to, if we were playing, like, would we switch him to safety? Then they took Isaiah Glasker out of BYU. He actually looks like not that bad, honestly. Looks all right. And Tao Johnson out of Utah, 73 overall, free safety. That's not too bad either, honestly. Zone coverage at a 65, that's going to need some work. And then also found another running back, Jaheim White out of West Virginia, 94 speed, 94 acceleration. Change of direction is a 95, so he would probably be a lot of fun to play with, if I'm being honest. What is Frazier's change of direction? 93, so these are probably 2 really fun running backs if we were like doing an actual franchise. They'd be really fun to play with, but let's get ready for year 2. All right, year 2 of the rebuild here, and not too much has changed with this team except new running back Nate Frazier, very close to unlocking that dev trait. Did a few drills with him. He feels absolutely electric. No other way to describe him as just that, electric. But Jayden Daniels, Jordan Tyson here. We still kind of have the same receiver room, except Horton and Bo Sparks on this team as well. And then defensively, we have Jordan Davis, we have Jazir Newton, and some other guys here on the defensive line. But Wilson here going to be our starting right edge player. Damon Wilson, progressed already pretty nice up to a 77 overall. I believe Kingsley Enagbare also only has like a year left on his deal anyway, so kind of getting a little bit ahead of things and kind of fixing that. The corner room is just really solid, I would say. That's the best way to describe the corner room. Pretty good here at safety, if I'm being honest, as well. And then linebacker, I think we're pretty good as well. So, really good linebacking depth, honestly, as a whole. So, really excited for that. I will fix this because it always does this really weird with these guys, but yeah, not exactly what I want to see. Folk, our left edge, but gonna want to get our rookie in at our rush right end as well. I'm not sure why the game kind of confuses that, but I'll catch up with you at the midseason mark and just see how we're doing, because I feel like this team should be, I don't think we're going to hit the ground as flat as we did year one. I think here in year two, we should hit the ground running a lot faster. All right, so midseason mark, we are 4-3 on the season. That is better than where we were last year, but I thought we'd kind of be ahead of that by a little bit more, honestly. But second place in our division, lots of 4-3, 4-2 teams, kind of just all jockeying around, kind of just the same plays. But Jayden Daniels, 13 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, leading the league in yards. Nate Frazier, 360 yards, 7 touchdowns, though, so not too upset about the yards necessarily. Around the 51 per game. I'd like to see more, but Isaiah Horton playing pretty good. We put him as our starting slot. Wanted to develop him, and we got Diami Brown playing well, Isaiah Likely playing well, Nate Frazier getting some catches as well. Again, I just feel like the playbook situation with the sim engine, it just doesn't get the ball around to enough people, I feel like. But we have a good gaggle of guys right here. Might need to go out there and upgrade our wide receiver 2 position, but so far, so good, I would say. Again, I do want to see Horton develop. But defensively, how are we doing? I think that's really what matters. And 4.5 sacks for Isaiah Glasker. Keldrick Falk getting 4.5. Jordan Davis, 2.5. Kingsley Enagbare, 2.5. Jazeer Newton, 2. Demarion Overshone. And then Damon Wilson with only 1, which I'm a little concerned by because he's playing enough snaps, so it's not an issue of snaps, I would say. So that's not really an issue. It's just he's kind of not producing right now just yet. And then interceptions, would like to see more, but we'll take it. It's better than, we had that for a season total before, so... gonna submit to the playoffs, see if we make it. Not gonna make any moves. I don't think we really need to make any moves. There's really nothing I can think of, but yeah, if I make a move, I'll get back to you. If not, it's on to the playoffs, see if we can make them. All right, I said I wasn't gonna make a trade. We decided to make one. We're gonna go out, we're gonna trade our 2028 first, our 2029 second, a 2028 third, and a 2028 fifth round pick. We're going to go out here and get Garrett Wilson. We're going to go out, make a splashy move, and that is going to give us an additional wide receiver, another big-time target for our quarterback, Jayden Daniels. We have the ability to do it, so I figure why not go out there, do it, go get ourselves get a second elite receiver here across from Jordan Tyson. And I think that is a pretty deadly offense we have put together. I think Tyson, Frazier, Wilson, even Isaiah Likely is pretty good for us. That's what we're going to do. And I think that's what we have to do if we want this team, I think, to, again, just take that next step, just to try to be an elite team. So it's a lot to give up, but I think we had to do it. And that trade, I think, might have been what exactly the doctor ordered. We go 13-4. We end up getting the number 1 seed in the NFC, which means we have a bye. 13-4. That's awesome. Let's go take a quick look here at the stats here. And Jayden Daniels, 42 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 5,200 yards. I was right. Nate Frazier, 757 yards on the season and 12 touchdowns. You love seeing the touchdowns for production that way. Um, so I do like seeing that. And then receiving, Jordan Tyson, 1,300 yards. Garrett Wilson, 1,300 yards. Diami Brown, 1,100 yards. Isaiah Likely, 669 yards. Isaiah Horton, 591 yards. 7 touchdowns on the season for him. That probably faded away once we got Garrett Wilson in here. But overall, just offense, I think, took a next step. And I like seeing that defensively. And Keldrick Folk, 15 and a half sacks. Jordan Davis, 7.5. Glasgow played well. And then Damon Wilson kind of got it going the second half of the season, it looks like, which I like to see. And then interceptions. Pretty good stuff here, honestly. Good enough, in my opinion. So you like seeing that. So let's go take a look on who we're going to be playing in the playoffs real quick here as we advance on. And we are going to be taking on the Detroit Lions. So got some upgrades to do here real quick. And Jennings Dunker starting to progress pretty nicely for us a little bit. Well, that pass protect rating is still not very good. But yeah, +2 to that. And yeah, still nowhere near, I think, being ready to play for us. TJ Metcalf going to go up to a 70 overall. No clue if he'll ever play or contribute for us, but +4 play rec. Not bad. But yeah, we're going here, play the moment, see if we can beat the Lions. They are rated higher than us, but I think we have a better offense personally. I think our receiving core is better than their receiving core. I think our top 2 are better than their top 2. Well, their top 2 is pretty good, Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams, but I think our top 2 might be better. All right, so we are here in the NFC divisional round, and we are going to beat the Detroit Lions 24-7. Team handled their business. We're sending the Lions home. Seems like a common trend with the Dan Campbell Lions playing the Commanders in the playoff, but Jayden Daniels gets another playoff win in his career. All right, NFC Championship game, taking on the Buccaneers, a team that I've really played a lot in this rebuild. Maybe I'm discounting the Buccaneers playbook in some of these sim things, but I don't know. The Buccaneers are always a team that's in here in these rebuilds, so let's see if we can beat the Buccaneers and get back to the Super Bowl. Or the Commanders, technically as the Commanders, have never been to the Super Bowl, but I believe they carry over their team history from that team whose name that I'm probably not allowed to say here on YouTube. All right, so we are here with an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl NFC Championship game. I decided to come in here, play this potential final drive here. Just had a penalty. 1st and 20 for the Buccaneers. They have to try to get a field goal here, and that's going to be picked off. It's Landman picking it off. Interception. Commanders still not out of the woods just yet. They have all 3 timeouts here, and a first down here is something we would like to get. We're going to hand this one to Frazier. Going to pick up some yards right there. And at this point, this is just about maybe getting them to burn their timeouts and put them in a tough situation. I don't think going up 6 here matters that much, personally. And, going up 6 doesn't really help us. We want to get this first down, and we want to try to win this football game. Throw this one. That's almost intercepted. And we're going for it. We are going for it. There is no reason not to go for it right here, in my opinion. I swear, these plays are awful. How does this playbook do so well in Sim? Because, half the time I look through it, I'm like, what is this? Constantly with the running back out there as an outside receiver. Hate that stuff, but we're going to throw a slant here, and Garrett Wilson going to get the first down. Now we can kneel this thing out, and we can win the NFC Championship game here, just to kneel down. They decided to bring pressure, and we are going to kneel this football. I thought you were supposed to do an auto thing here, but whatever. One more kneel down here for Daniels, and the game's going to try to make me do 3 of them. Either way, we get the win. We're moving on to the Super Bowl. We beat the Buccaneers 13-10, and we're moving on. All right, it's the Super Bowl. We're taking on the Jaguars. I feel like I don't see the Jaguars do all that well in the sim, but they did well this time. So, gonna take on the Jags in the Super Bowl in Miami. So it's kind of almost like a home field advantage somewhat for the Jaguars in the state of Florida. I'm sure lots of Jacksonville Jaguars fans will make the trip to South Beach to see them lose to us, because that's what's going to happen. All right, in the Super Bowl here, Travis Hunter got injured. Good. 4th and 11. We can close out the Super Bowl right here. Try to get a stop. Trevor Lawrence going to go up for it, Brian Thomas Jr. goes up for it. He can't get the football. 4th down, turnover on downs, and we can't completely just run the clock out. Well, we can, but we're not in the clear just yet, as they're still going to call timeouts. For whatever reason in the sim, Frazier I don't know, something about this Bengals playbook and like running backs. I don't know. It doesn't like the run game at all. We're going to try to get around here, and we do. We stay in bounds. They're going to call a timeout here, but we're going to go try to get this knockout blow right here. See if we can. The answer is, of course, not, but they are out of timeouts. Liam Cohen looks absolutely freaky right here. I wish he'd just get under center. Why is he fucking shaking his ass and shit instead of just getting under center? We get a touchdown. 28-10. Go for it. I don't care. There we go. We win the Super Bowl 28-10. Only took us till year 2. Again, already having Jayden Daniels with Superstar X Factor was a big factor in that. But we do win the Super Bowl right there. And there we go. The Commanders Washington are champions in the NFL again as we beat the Jaguars. All right. Now heading into the offseason as Super Bowl champions, we are in an interesting position. We have some guys we gotta re-sign. Josh Connerly, we are gonna accept that option. Chigoziem Okonkwo, we're probably gonna let walk. Jedrick Wills, we want to keep for sure. Want to keep our starting left tackle, even though he hasn't really progressed all that much. A little interesting. But Sanistrell, we're going to try to keep as well. Bring him back. He's happy to come back and keep playing for a great organization. Jazeer Newton, I want to keep around as well. Keep this defensive line intact. And try to keep potentially growing it as we go through here. Dammy Brown, we're going to let walk. Jaquan McMillan, we're going to let walk. Kingsley Enagbare, we're actually going to let walk as well. Chris Paul does not want to come back. That's a little interesting at left guard. But we do have Coleman there ready to start, so we'll let Chris Paul walk. Chigoziem Okonkwo does want to come back for 2 years. It's just that I am going to go in a different direction there. Necessarily just not going to bring him back. It's just, 40. I want to have some cap space to play with free agency, so nothing too serious this year as we head into year 3 of this rebuild. So we're going to sign some free agents. And we're going to look around here, see what we can do to try to make this team just that much better. Particularly, we're going to look at corner. I still would like to bring in another corner. We've tried bringing in Cooper DeJean before, and he kind of always turns us down, honestly. He's always kind of just like not that interested in signing with us. We're going to look at some receivers. Is there anyone here that's interesting? And honestly, the answer is kind of no. We have two good receivers, and Chigoziem Okonkwo could be interesting, but we're actually going to go. AJ Barner would be interesting. Jatavion Sanders, actually, because he is a little bit cheaper than Chigoziem Okonkwo was. Tyler Guyton, Rasheed Walker out here at left tackle. But we're good at left tackle with Jedrick Wills, and those guys aren't like big upgrades over him. And left guard, though, we could use some help at left guard, and Kingsley, however you pronounce that, is he even interested? And actually, he is. We're just competing with the Jets. So we'll give him an extra year, too. See, does he like that? He does like it. So we do get a little bit. We could potentially get better there. Right guard. We're good there. Jordan Morgan. IRL is kind of a bust, if I'm being honest. And we're good at right tackle, too. And we're good on defensive line. So I don't think we actually have to do anything there. Corner. We're pretty good at corner. I don't think we have to go out and bring anyone else in. No. So, again, Cooper DeJean, as fun as that would be, we don't need to do it, actually. So, potentially two signings. I would like to get both of those guys, and we do get both of those guys. So we get a new left guard and Jatavion Sanders, and that is going to do it for free agency because there's not much else out there for me to actually do. But offensive line gets a little bit better there. At guard, we get another tight end, and potentially could use another receiver, but probably not. So let's get into the draft. All right, we are in the draft here. This is actually, I'm pretty sure this is a real 2020. What is this? 2028 draft class. That feels so weird to say, but it is a real draft class, and we are going to take Joseph Williams here, another wide receiver out of Colorado, and number 33 in true value, has good speed, normal dev trait, but everything else looks pretty good. Release, deep route. Going to have to do some work on that, and we don't pick again until the 4th round. Remember, we traded a lot of our picks away to acquire Garrett Wilson, and that probably won us the Super Bowl, if I'm being honest. So it's not the worst thing to do. I think personally, I don't think that was the worst decision we made, if I'm being entirely honest. So again, it sucks not having a dearth of picks. I would say, right? That's, you always like to have a lot of picks in the draft, but I'm not too torn up about it. We do need an extra tight end. I would say potentially, but again, we'll take a look around here. Looking around here at these tackles, there's some day 3 tackles on the board here. Could potentially use another tackle just for the fact that cap is going to get a little tight after we eventually do that Daniels extension. So I think Johnny Williams out of Missouri might have to be the pick, because I'm not sure if we'll be able to re-sign Jedrick Wills necessarily. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. So getting another tackle in, I think, is probably the right move for us. Just because, again, don't know if we'll have the cap space after we got some contracts that we're going to have to do. So it's going to be a little, it's going to be tight. We're going to have to tighten our belts up a little bit here. And, speaking of that, Garrett Wilson might be a guy we might not be able to afford to bring back, but none of these other receivers are particularly jumping out right now for me. So, we're looking around here. Any nose tackles that we like? There is one here with play rec, but power moves is a D, block shedding. Not too many guys kind of have everything that I want. Maybe that's greedy. I don't know. But take a look here at corner. Nothing particularly really standing out. Free safety. Nothing really standing out. Again, we'll take a quick look at kind of all the positions real quick here. Again, just nothing really standing out right now. A lot of UDFA talent here at this point. Charlie Collins, another edge player, kind of doesn't look all that great either. So we'll go with some physicals, see if there's anything we could find with guys who have anything elite. This guy has elite to great stuff here. He is a defensive tackle. We'll take him. Why not? Could always use more defensive tackles. 318. Does have hidden dev, though. 70 strength. Really interesting right there, honestly. But, yeah. Let the CPU advance to the end here, and we will get to the end of this draft, and then we will look at this roster for Season 3 and draft recap. Take a quick look around. And 74 overall, Joseph Williams. That was a good pick. 69 overall, Johnny Williams. That could be a good pick eventually. And then everything else is just kind of whatever, Again, Johnny Williams, left tackle, 69 overall. Looks pretty good, honestly. I wonder what's bringing down his rating. It has to be the awareness stuff. So hopefully we can get that up with him and progress him. But Joseph Williams, wide receiver, second round pick. Normal dev, but gonna have to get the route running up. But everything else looks really good. Just the deep route running and release is what we're gonna have to work on with him. But apart from that, looks like a really good player. Defensive tackle that we took, not all that great. But he is playing up with the morale. But play rec isn't very good. Awareness is okay. Project player, but that's kind of what you expect in the 5th round, honestly. All right, year 3 of this rebuild. We've already won a Super Bowl, and the team basically the same as last year, except a new left guard for us. That's really all that's changed. Nothing else is really that different with this team. Defensively, basically the same team as last year as well. Landman up to a superstar X Factor. Safety room looks pretty good. We didn't make too many big changes to our corner room at all. I mean, it's basically what it's been the entire rebuild, apart from the addition of Garrett Williams. But yeah, basically the same team. I hope we can... looks like Glasgow has really developed. He is up to superstar. Lamb up to that X Factor is very nice to see. So, again, hopefully we can just go out here and just kind of do same to what we did last season. Come out, try to get that #1 seed, and try to have an easy trip through the playoffs. All right, midseason mark of year number 3, and we are 7-0 currently. Go take a look here at the stats. Jayden Daniels, 19 touchdowns to 1 interception on the year. Nate Frazier, 402 yards, 7 touchdowns. And then Ja'Cory Krosky-Moret is also getting some touchdowns as well. Receiving, Jordan Tyson, 4 touchdowns. Rondell Moore, 4 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, 4 touchdowns. Isaiah Likely, 4 touchdowns. Nate Frazier, 4 receiving touchdowns. So lots of production on this entire team, which you do like to see. No one guy is seemingly just kind of going off. And then Keldrick Folk up to 9.5 sacks, so easily his best start to a season since we've had him. Easily really good sack production. Pause. And then Nate Landman with 2 interceptions, Trey Amos with 2 interceptions, Drew Sanders, and Quentin Lake with interceptions as well. So nice stuff here. I think we put together a pretty nice defense. You can tell because we are currently leading the way here, but in the NFC East. But Giants hot on our tail, so we're going to have to make sure we stay ahead of them. So I'll see you for the playoffs. So we end up finishing 15-2 in year number 3 of this rebuild, and that is pretty good, honestly. Go take a look here at the stats. Jayden Daniels, another remarkable season, 5,200 yards, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Nate Frazier, almost to 1,000 yards rushing. Again, probably just this Bengals playbook just doesn't rush as well. But either way, still a great season. Jordan Tyson, 1,500 yards. Rondell Moore, 1,200 yards. Garrett Wilson with 1,100 yards. Isaiah Likely, 700 yards. Frazier, really good season. Also, the touchdown production was really good for these guys as well. Always like seeing that. And then defensively, what do we got here? Looks like we had a pretty good season here, getting sacks. Keldrick Folk, 15 sacks on the year, easily his best numbers he has put up. DeMarion Overshown, Damon Wilson with 5 sacks on the season. And just, yeah, able to get a lot of sack production, get after the quarterbacks. You always like seeing that. And able to get decent amount of turnovers as well. So really good stuff right there. You like seeing it. And we're going to advance real quick here. See who we are playing in the playoffs. I'm somewhat fascinated to see who we're taking on. And we're taking on the 49ers. I feel like a team that I don't see too often in these rebuilds. Just kind of feels like they don't show up as much as you would think they would. I'm not sure why that is. Yeah, just going to upgrade some of these coach skills and get them upgraded and get them ready. I'm not too worried about upgrading coordinators just because I feel like they just don't get hired as much. I don't know what that is. They just seemingly don't get hired and take other jobs as often as you would think they would. I'm not sure what the reason for that is. It just seems like they just don't get hired. Yours just don't get hired. I know there's abilities you can have to make sure they don't get hired from your staff, but again, I just don't see them get hired that much. So we're going to go play the moments, see if we can beat the 49ers. I'll try to stay out of it as much as I possibly can, but you never know with Madden. All right, so we are here, NFC Divisional Round. I feel like we are in a position here where we could probably put this game away. And we get to Rondell Moore right there. That's a really big play. That could be the dagger right there. We're going to try to go in and score, obviously, but that does feel like that could be the dagger in this one. That might be a little too much for them to overcome, but we are going to try to get the touchdown if we can. We get a nice first down right there, so now they got to start calling timeouts here, and we're still going to try to pound this rock, try to get this in against this 49ers team. I feel like a team I really just have not seen a lot in these rebuilds in the playoffs, personally. But we're going to get to Frazier right there. Touchdown, Nate Frazier. That should do it right there. That should be your dagger there. Going for the onside kick. Going to put our hands team out there. 25 seconds to go. Onside kick. They normally don't get these. Isaiah Horton comes up with it. And they have one timeout left, but doesn't matter. They could probably used it, but doesn't matter. 17-14. We beat the 49ers, and we are moving on to the NFC Championship game. All right, conference championship game, taking on the Rams. I'm a little interested to see who their quarterback is, actually. It should be Lenore Sellers, I think. I don't think Matthew Stafford's still playing. And it is Lenore Sellers, and boy, has he worked out for them. 92 overall, superstar quarterback. So Lenore Sellers has worked out for him. Let's see if we can beat him. All right, end of game drive here to hold on to it. Kind of been back and forth, low scoring the entire game. And now we have an opportunity here to kind of just close them out here. And hopefully we can do that. They are going to start calling their timeouts. I figured they'd wait a little bit longer to start doing that, but All right, if you want to start calling your timeouts now, you still got the 2-minute warning, but either way, they're going to do that. Nate Frazier going to get free here, and Frazier's in for the touchdown. Great spin move we put on the defender right there, and we take that one to the house. Nate Frazier, what a pick he has been. Absolutely amazing that he was able to take that one to the house. Put a nice spin move on 2 defenders and still able to take it to the house right there. And there probably is your NFC Championship game dagger, as we should have no problem moving on here. We're just going to keep skipping forward. They're going to go for it on 4th down. We're going to come in here and try to shut them out. And 4th and 5. And we're going to try to put this thing away here. And we get the interception right there. Wow. Nice. I did not expect that to happen. But either way, we're moving on to the Super Bowl. Opportunity to go back to back here. Not a great game for Jayden Daniels. Only 98 yards, but it was enough to win. So here we are in the Super Bowl yet again, taking on the Denver Broncos. So we'll take a quick look at their roster. Again, another situation where I'm pretty sure they still have Bo Nix. I don't think they've taken another quarterback, and they do still have Bo Nix. So that is pretty good. They also have Austin Mack and Kyron Drones. So 2 young quarterbacks backing up Bo Nix there, but we are going to try to win another Super Bowl here. We also, Mike Sanastrell must have got upgraded to Superstar, so you like seeing that as well. So let's just go in here, see if we can win. Back-to-back would be really big for we get into the final year of this rebuild. All right, 4th quarter here, and we have been mostly just kind of beating their dicks in, if I'm being entirely honest. I mean, just, I don't want to say like full-on domination, because, you know, it's still a football game here late, but for the most part, we have been just kind of doing whatever we want here to this Broncos team, or the CPU has been doing whatever they want to the Broncos team. We're going to come in here, try to close this thing out like we always do, and we are knocking on the door here. This is still a game. If they get a stop here, field goal, we get a field goal, and then they get a touchdown, they can still get back in this thing here. Spin move, Frazier, touchdown, Commanders, and I think that is going to put the bow on a back-to-back Super Bowl run here for us. We are going to try to stop them here on 4th and 5, 28-7 here. I mean, not much they can do to try to come back. Bo Nix still reading things out here. See if we can get some pressure here. Bo Nix, that's almost intercepted, but it's knocked down. And there we go. 28-7. He counted another back-to-back rebuild here. But can we go back to back to back? Can we get the three-peat? That is so hard to do. We have a lot of guys' contracts coming up, so let's try to get into that and see if we can figure it out. All right, so this is where things kind of really, you know, the rubber meets the road almost, you know. We don't usually end up in these situations too often, but here it is. Big time contract here going to Jayden Daniels. We'll put even a little bit more money in there to kind of make sure he for sure re-signs with us. And he does. We give him even more money. I usually never have to actually do that in these rebuilds because we just never get to that point. Jordan Tyson is going to reach that point, and Keldrick Falk also going to accept that option as we come in here for the last year of this rebuild. Kevin Winston Jr. has quietly been really good for us. We are going to re-sign him. Oh, he's going to test out free agency. Okay, well, I think we'll let him do that. This is very interesting. A lot of guys here that I'd like to bring back, but, you know, that's kind of the thing with the NFL. You can't bring everyone back. We'll bring him back just for depth. We'll go through these. This is where Things get kind of fun because I normally, again, like I said, what is up with kickers being so picky about like their free agency stuff? That's very weird in this game. Isaiah Likely, he'd love to be back, but probably not going to be able to do it, honestly. I would love to keep Landman. I don't know if he'll come back. We'll give him an extra $2 million. Is that enough to get him? And he's coming back. Landman is coming back. So, um, do we just franchise tag him? I don't think that's going to be the move. Sam Cosme is probably going to be gone. Deontay Banks, he'll be back. So we're going to be without Kevin Winston Jr. Trey Amos is going to be out of here. And do we have anything to offer Isaiah Likely? Yeah, we don't. We can't offer Isaiah Likely anything because we're out of money. We are out of money. We do not have money. Jennings Dunker might have to play right guard for us, honestly. We'll have to bring him back. Sam Cosme not going to be back. And this is just the reality of the NFL. You can't bring everyone back after you. So this could be interesting. We could make this little bullshit offer. Again, I want him to just reject an offer so I can. What we're going to do here is we're going to tag and trade Cosme. And we're going to tag and trade him. All right, I want him to reject an offer. Okay, cool. He rejected the offer. So what we're going to do. Now we could tag him. What's cheaper? What will bring us more value? I think the 90 overall right guard, potentially. So we're going to tag Sam Cosme. Awesome. We're negative $22 million in cap. So what we're going to do here, this might be a really bad idea or a really good idea. I don't know. But Sam Cosme is going to get the tag. And what we're then going to do is go to the trade center, trade finder, Sam Cosme, and we're going to try to find a trade here. And maybe this can help us out, honestly. You know what? We are getting some good offers here, so I don't think this was a terrible idea. And let's see, Denzel Ward is old. I'll take Ashton Hampton. What do you mean I can't make this? Let's counter offer this. So this is the game being really stupid. Send me Miller Moss then. And we send Cosme to the Bears for a corner in Hampton and some picks. So there we go. We now have $22 million in cap. I don't think we really have to do too much, honestly. Joe Olt's out here. Dotson is here. We should be good at guard. Can we bring back? I want to see if we can bring back Kevin Winston Jr. We did let him walk, but I feel like we should be able to bring him back. I think that should be pretty easy. And Brandon Aubrey, we should be able to bring him back as well. And look at that. We got a corner and some picks, and maybe potentially we bring back Winston Jr. and we bring back Brandon Aubrey. And that's all we're going to do in free agency. So we were able to bring all of our guys back. Well, not all of our guys back, but really the important guys. We were able to bring back the important pieces of this team. And you know what? That is good enough for me. We're going to need some new tight end help for sure. Um, we're going to have to find, someone cheap. David Njoku, he's older, but, we're going to have to find cheap and like passable. So that's not going to work. So we're going to just do it in the draft, I think, is what we're going to have to do. But that's going to do it for free agency. Let's get on to the draft. All right, so we restructured some contracts, and Harold Fannin Jr. is going to be the tight end we are going to go after here. And we do get Harold Fannin Jr. as well, so there we go. I think a pretty good free agency for us, despite the fact that we were really up against the cap. I think we have pushed just about everything to the brinks here. To the brink. I don't think there's much else we can do here. We're going to be in a really weird spot. Well, actually, whoever comes after me is going to be in a weird spot because I ain't going to be here after this. So this is why we can go out here and do these things, because I don't have to worry about anything else, because this is the last year of the rebuild for me. All right, we are here in the final draft of this rebuild. Let's see what we're going to do here. What are we going to do? Some options for us are out there. There was a guard that I really liked, but it looks like he went off the board. Was a right guard, I believe. And yeah, he is out of here. So that's a little disappointing. We don't have the opportunity. We don't have the ability to move around. We just don't really have that. At this point. So again, could take a receiver. None of the tight ends looked all that interesting, if I'm being honest. Actually, Deontay Price, catching traffic. Spec catch is a little low. This guy. So that's going to be a no. Could just take another linebacker. Chuck Osborne, round 2 to 3, talent. So yeah, not really sure what to do here with this pick. I do like Chuck Osborne a little bit, but again, not really sure what to do with this pick. Could just take another receiver 4-2. Yeah. Cody McCain, we're gonna take. Could always use extras. 99 speed. 97. Yeah. We'll take some more speed here. Not sure if we necessarily need it, but we're going to advance to our next user pick. The Jets still have our picks here in 2029. So the Jets somehow are still terrible. And I don't get why the Jets are still so terrible, but I guess it's because they're the Jets. I don't know. They're like still really bad, despite the fact they have like a bajillion picks. Von Jackson here. We're back to using Madden generated draft classes. We'll take him. Ranked number 31 in true value. Got him all the way at 96 in the draft. So, yeah. Not bad. Go to our next user pick here. And this is a pick I think we got in the Sam Cosmi trade. I could be wrong about that. But that sounds right. And still looking around here, trying to find some more prospects. And honestly, we'll just take more defensive tackles. There's no one that's going to like help us, right? We're kind of already set as a team. So we'll take another defensive tackle, Chad Reedy. And then we'll advance to our next user pick again. And trade away this pick. Review offers. And we will take... We'll take a 2030 pick from the Seahawks. So we'll do that. And we are going to just get out of this draft. Let the CPU handle the rest of it. Not much else I feel like I can do here in terms of the draft, in terms of, drafting players or anything like that can like truly help this team right now. We have like no cap, or we probably just barely had enough money to sign our draft picks. But Cody McCain, 75 overall. Von Jackson, 75 overall, 72 overall. And then the rest of these guys they took are kind of like whatever. But Chad Reedy, block shedding's a little low, but good finesse moves. Again, a guy who probably could progress into a real player. And also because, logically speaking, if you're thinking about it, we're going to be in some cap issues. Those defensive tackles we have now, a little bit older now, a couple years in, could be guys that we would maybe have to potentially say goodbye to. And Cody McCain, super fast guy. Gonna have to work on the route running, but apart from that, he looks pretty good. So I'll see you for the start of the final year of this rebuild, year 4. So, final year of the rebuild here, and this team looks pretty good still. Honestly, we found a spot for Johnny Williams. It's going to be at right guard. We moved him to right guard. He'll start for us there. 76 overall. He progressed. We built him up over his rookie year, and he can start there. Jedrick Wills still here. And yeah, line still looks good. Garrett Wilson still here. Jordan Tyson still good. And we still have a lot of talent in this wide receiver room. Young as well. Defensively, we are still good. What's going on here? Right lineup. What's going on? There we go. Kevin Winston Jr. there. We brought him back. We were able to bring him back. And Hampton, who we got from the Sam Cosmi trade, Ashton Hampton, becomes our best corner at an 86 overall. So I think tag and trading Cosmi was the right move to make. A little bit older, get some more youth here on that offensive line. And look, we have some really good players here still on the defensive line. I feel like Newton has not progressed as much as I thought he was going to, but look, everything else on this team looks pretty good. So I'm excited to see what this team can do here. We are not going to do any midseason mark, anything like that. We are just going to go right to the playoffs, see if we make them. And yeah, that'll be it. Hopefully we do, but I feel pretty confident about it. This team is still pretty good. It's basically the same roster as last year, minus Isaiah Likely and Sam Cosmi and maybe a couple other guys. So should be good enough. We'll see. So not as dominant as we have been in previous years. 10-7. Looks like we just kind of barely snuck into the playoffs by about a game. So taking on the Lions here. Let's go take a look at the stats here for the final year. And Jayden Daniels was great. Almost 6,000 yards, 47 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Nate Frazier, I just don't know if you're going to break 1,000 yards rushing with the Bengals playbook. Maybe that's just not possible. 17 rushing touchdowns. Cody McCain, who we put in at the slot, 21 touchdowns his rookie year. My God. 21 touchdowns, 95 receptions, 1,500 yards. Absolutely insane stuff right there. And then defensively, did we take like a step back? Kendrick Folk, 14 and a half sacks. Jordan Davis. Damon Wilson just kind of, is a 5 to 6 sack guy. It feels like that's just kind of what he is. It doesn't feel like he's just ever going to break that threshold. Ashton Hampton with some, interceptions. Nate Landman, kind of just a year, honestly. So there is that. So let's see if we can beat the Lions. I am not going to jump into this one at all. We're going to see if we can do it. And we do beat them 37-13. Do our weekly strategy, upgrade the team again, see if we can beat the New Orleans Saints, a team who I don't think we've seen really at all in really almost any of these rebuilds that I've done with the NFC, except, my Saints rebuild, where it just feels like the Saints are just kind of a team that kind of just lulls a bit. Let's go take a look at their roster real quick. We are better than them. So I feel like we should beat the Saints, but you never know with Madden. Their quarterback, they have Jeremiah Love, is Ty Simpson. And they have DJ Lagway and Kyler Murray. So that's a very interesting quarterback room. And looks like they took Ty Simpson and DJ Lagway in the same draft. And Ty Simpson is the guy that has won out and developed. So let's see if we can beat the Saints here. We're going to move on. We're just going to see if we can beat them. Can we beat Ty Simpson and the Saints, or does our season come to an end? We move on. We beat the Saints 20-17, and we take on the Rams again in the NFC Championship game. This time, though, it's us on the road. This time, we are on the road here, taking them on, and, well, you know, we're going to see if we can we beat them? Honestly, I'm kind of interested. This team does look like it's taken some sort of step back. I'm not really sure why. I don't think we've lost too many players that would kind of make a difference like that, at the very least. But we will try at the very least to get a win. I don't know why I'm losing my train of thought all of a sudden. Like I'm going like Joe Biden right now, but we're going to try. I will jump in and play that. So I am kind of getting my stuff all set up here with what I like to call, and I don't use any of the offensive play sheets, honestly. I just feel like those are kind of whatever. I like the defensive ones a little bit more, and yeah. So that's what I like to do. Get the defensive playbooks for whenever we have to play a freaking defensive play the moment. So we're going to do this. We're going to go in there, see if we can beat the Rams. Can we advance on? Can we try to win 3 straight Super Bowls? One potential final bit of upgrades here. And guys for the future who really didn't play too much, but they're developing pretty nicely. So let's get in here, play the moments, and let's see if we can beat the Rams and try to win another Super Bowl. All right, we are here in the NFC Championship game. I almost said Super Bowl. We are in the NFC Championship game, and we are looking pretty good here to potentially move on. We are leading 20-3. The Rams have not been able to do much, and they have no excuses this time. Home field advantage. They are at home. And that is going to be picked off by Ashton Hampton. And Hampton is going to house this one. The guy we got from the Bears for the Sam Cosmi trade is going to send us to the Super Bowl with a pick 6, just like that. We're just going to get out of here. We're moving on to our 3rd straight Super Bowl with an opportunity to complete a three-peat. And we beat the Rams again in their own house. All right, back at the Super Bowl, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, let's go see what they have cooking at quarterback. I think they have Dante Moore. I could be wrong on that. I don't know if he worked out for them or not. But they do have Dante Moore. So there we go. They have Dante Moore. Looks like he has progressed for them very nicely. X-Factor quarterback. So they got Dante Moore. They got a quarterback. Let's go see if we can beat Dante Moore. We've beaten some pretty popular quarterbacks. I've not seen Fernando Mendoza at all. I think he's with the Jets, so that's probably why he hasn't worked out at all. All right, this has been a back and forth game, and we have an opportunity here to shut this one down. 31-24 is the score. Couple first downs, and we will complete history. And we're going to get here to McCain, this insane rookie that we found. Looks like we have thrown an interception, or I haven't thrown an interception. Jayden Daniels has thrown the interception, but either way, we are up here. We get them to burn a timeout. Again, I think they burned them a little too quickly. Frazier, I don't think they had to burn that timeout that first time. At this point, now we can just kind of run. I know the 2-minute warning's coming up, but I think that was not very smart to burn that timeout, but that's just me. We're going to move Jatavion Sanders here, get an extra man going this way, and Could not. Javion Sanders did not even attempt to run block right there. I appreciate that, man. Maybe that's why you were a free agent. But 3rd and 3 here. We are going to try to pick this up through the air. See if we can do it. On the run, we're going to pass it right here to Fannin. Fannin going to pick up the first down, breaks a couple tackles. He's going to drag some defenders into the end zone. Touchdown, Harold Fannin Jr. And just like, oh my goodness, what is that? I don't know if Harold Fannin Jr. can actually do that in real life. If he can, let me know. Harold Fannin Jr., we just take the check down, could have ran it ourselves, but Harold Fannin Jr. decides to run through the entire Raiders defense when they need it most. When the Raiders absolutely needed a stop, they could not do it. They could not stop Jayden Daniels and the Commanders. 3rd down alert. Keep this drive alive. We are up a bunch of points here. At this point, we are just going to run this football and get out of here with our 3rd straight Super Bowl. Can we get it? We can't pick up the first down. Could not do it. We don't need to do it. We win another Super Bowl. There we go. 38-24. We defeat the Raiders, and we win not 1, not 2, but 3 straight Super Bowls. Jayden Daniels puts himself into the GOAT conversation. We didn't see the Chiefs in any of these Super Bowls. They might end up having to be my next rebuild team. That team seems to be kind of in a weird spot right now, so maybe the Chiefs might be next, but right now it's the Commanders. We win the 3rd straight Super Bowl with this Commander squad, and we're going to get out of here. We're going to take one final look at this team, see where we have left it, where we have built it. And again, these rebuilds always end with the Super Bowl in Minnesota. But Cody McCain, I mean, this is a team that Garrett Wilson's probably going to be a free agent. We can let Garrett Wilson walk because we have Cody McCain, who is a superstar dev player. We'll advance 1 week here, but 3 straight Super Bowls for us. Jayden Daniels has probably won multiple MVPs at this point. I believe he's won at least 2. So he has developed quite nicely as a player. And why is this taking so long to advance the week? Why is this taking so long? My moment of glory, and it takes half an hour. We are negative $35 million in the hole. Yeah. That's the situation we're in. That's the spot we're in. So one final look here, and this is the team that won 3 straight Super Bowls. Cody McCain has become great for us. Yeah, I mean, just what more is there to say? Just an awesome team. Jordan Tyson, what a great pick that was. I believe we traded Terry McLaurin basically for Jordan Tyson, I think. I could be wrong on that. I think that's what happened. McLaurin, he never won anything with the Texans. But yeah, this team, defense came together. Jordan Davis, I think, is really what set it over the top as defensive tackle. Both the edge players we drafted worked out really well, honestly. Keldrick Falk worked out just fine. Honestly, has been really great for us this entire rebuild. So that's an awesome pick. The Tyson pick, the trade for Garrett Wilson was great. Offensive line. Oh, that's what happened. Our center retired, I believe. Let's go take a look here at retirements, the 2029 retirements. And Terry McLaurin retires on the Titans, not winning anything. So we do have a retirement ourselves, and that is Tyler Biadasz. He does call it a career after 3 straight Super Bowls. And I'm going to call it a rebuild after 3 straight Super Bowls. I want to thank you guys for watching this one. Let me know down below who you think I should rebuild next, and I will see you guys next time for another Madden 26 rebuild. Thanks for watching.